We're looking at 10 sleeper running backs for fantasy football. We're going to be looking at their upside. We're going to be looking at how they can help your fantasy team. We're going to be looking at those lottery tickets. We love those lottery tickets, those guys that we're stashing, holding on to as long as possible. You got to have that diamond fist because you never know when they're going to break out in season. But before we dig in, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're doing deep dives on these players every day. We're doing player lists every day so you can see a bunch of different players and how they could potentially perform in season. Also, we're covering the waiver wire. We're doing deep dives on waiver wire players and guys who are changing teams, getting benched, and everything else. And on top of that, we will help you set your lineups. Click that button right now. Stop missing out. But Kimani Vidal has a ton of juice, a ton of upside. He's got 2 running backs in front of him that are often injured. They got an injury history. He could be stepping in week 3, week 6, week 10 and be the guy, be fantasy relevant, and you can catch him in double-digit rounds right now. He could be the 5th running back on your team just sitting there on the bench and you're just waiting. He could be your diamond fist right now. He's got good speed. He's got good pop. You watch him run between the tackles in preseason. He's very steady. He's got good vision. He's a very dependable young running back prospect that could gel well in this offense. If you want something more steady, if you want a veteran, and if you want that veteran on the cheap, look at Austin Ekeler. RB40 range in ADP right now. He's a cheaper running back. You're catching him in double-digit rounds. He's with the Commanders. They just lost Jahan Dotson via trade, so some targets are going to open up. They're going to be quick getting the ball out with the RPO game. Some of those targets are going to go to Austin Ekeler. And if he's not dust, if there's no rust on them joints and he's back to where he was, he's going to at least be 80 to 95% to where his production was back in the day, maybe, because they're looking to get the ball out quickly. He's good in the passing game. He's got some good gusto in the open field, and maybe that could happen. What if it doesn't happen? Well, you got a running back here that's going to get some workload that could give you okay production, maybe 10 to 12 fantasy points per game, and you rock the matchups. And if it's worse than that, you only paid round 11, 12, 13 draft capital for him. Just dump him and pick somebody else up. And Jaylen Wright could be the guy you're picking up after you dump him. He's getting drafted right now, round 13, 14 range in home leagues. Cheap get, a lot of upside because you want your Dolphins. They score points in bunches. They move the field. They stay on the field. They're very potent and explosive. 4.3 speed, meshes well with the other running backs. The other running backs in front of them, they also have an injury history, very similar to Vidal. But we also got a lot more upside, a lot more draft capital to his name. He could be the guy that explodes this year. Another guy you want a diamond fist, Audric Esteme, could be the Kyren Williams. Not because he's from Notre Dame, not because he had to slow combine just like Kyren Williams and still produce, but very smart, sound running back, good vision, good in pass protection. Watch his pass protection clips from preseason. He's blowing up dudes. He's sound. Javonte Williams has an injury history. Javonte Williams will be a free agent this year. No one's predicting the Denver Broncos to win the Super Bowl, but a lot of people are predicting to win more games than expected. The Broncos are going to be fun to watch, but Audric Esteme, good between the tackles. Good pop in the second level. Good vision. Moves laterally very well. Could be that surprise running back this year that comes on down the line, middle of the season that you want to pick up. Round 14 draft capital, though, if you want a diamond fist right now. But Braelon Allen, I suggest wanting to diamond fist him. I suggest that. If something happens to Brees Hall, he's the next man up. They may want to work him in. He might get some goal line carries and touches. You may want to see what's going on with his backfield week 1 or 2. You may want to see that happening. He looks good. He broke out early in college at Wisconsin, breaking out as a freshman. He's got the size. He's got some pop to him. He is hard to bring down. This could be a running back that goes off. You want to pay attention to him. Ray Davis is one of my favorite diamond fist running backs in the back half of the draft because he will be the 1B with James Cook. He's very dependable in pass blocking, very dependable with his vision in between the tackles, pairs well with James Cook. If you put them both together in a lab, you would get one damn good running back that can do everything. But there's a lot of upside with Ray Davis. He's on an offense that can move the football that's very potent, that's in a lot of big matchups. Ray Davis is a guy to look at. He can cook in round 14, be one of your last running backs that you draft. Bucky Irving, you're probably going to pluck him off waivers. But if something happens to Rachaad White, he is next in line. He's good in the passing game. He's good between the tackles. He's got some upside. Probably look at him off waivers. I wouldn't suggest really drafting him unless you really want a diamond fist just in case injuries happen. Chuba Hubbard. If you want something steady that gets you fantasy points now, if Jonathan Brooks is on the pup or injured, you're probably going to catch production, something like that. Round 14 cost. See what happens. If you need it, if you're hurting at running back, you're in the middle rounds, just know that Chuba Hubbard's going to be there. You're not going to like it, but guess what? You're probably a lead at wide receiver and tight end. J.K. Dobbins. Injury history, we know that. Athleticism could be zapped. Round 14, though, going to be the RB2, going to be worked into this offense. A run-heavy approach is probably going to be happening here with the Chargers. That being said, you can dance with it. You'll know within a couple weeks whether you want to return him to the waiver wire or not, because he might be getting workload weeks 1, 2, or 3. You'll have him. If it's not happening, you dump him. Marshawn Lloyd's hurt right now with a hamstring injury. He was hovering around round 10 draft capital in ADP. He's fallen to around 15, 16 range. Undraftable in drafts right now in basic home leagues. That being said, you still got to pay attention to him. If injuries hit the Packers, he gets healthy. If he goes to IR, you may want to draft him, put him in your IR slots, hold him there, and just pick up another running back off waivers right before the season starts. Put him on IR, do that. If that happens, that's a move you may want to make. He is a candidate to go on IR. I saw a couple articles on that. I'm not for sure. I don't know. It's not like I'm with the Packers. It's not like I really know anything, but I do know there's good size and just athleticism here. He looked good catching the ball at the Senior Bowl. He's had some moments in minicamp, OTAs, limited training camp due to the hamstring. But if something happens, he gets his opportunity, it's middle of the year, you never know. And he's a free spot on your roster on the IR if that happens. Think about that. Think about your IR spot right now. Think about that going forward with other players. We're never going to forget about Keaton Mitchell on this channel. Those are 10 sleepers at the running back position you can look at. I'll have more. I'll be doing videos all week long, all next week and the week after, every single day. I will be here. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.